Hello, viewers. Ohio Airgun Shooter back again with the Isaazon 4.5 millimeter or .177 caliber single stroke pneumatic air pistol. In this video, I'm going to do some crony testing, see what kind of velocities we're getting. It does have a claimed velocity between 300 to 350 feet per second with lead pellets. Therefore, I have selected the RWS hobby pellets. These are 7 grain, so it's pretty much your average weight pellet in .177 caliber. If we'll get to the velocities claimed, it'll probably be with these. Now, I also have a lead-free pellet, the H&N Field Target Trophy Grains. These are 5.71 grain, so these may be a bit faster. However, they are the alloy, so they probably have a little bit more drag on a rifle barrel. However, I have added a few drops of silicone oil to this tin to kind of help lubricate them a bit. So that should kind of help them get through the barrel a little better. And then on the heavy side, we'll go ahead and try some 10.5 grain Crossman Premiers. These are domed and of course lead. Now before we get to the velocity testing, one thing I want to do is clean this barrel. See how dirty it is from the factory. I'm out of patches. I could have swore I bought an entire pack. I cannot find them anywhere. So what I'm going to use is Q-tips. These work great. The cotton Q-tips here, they're pretty much good for anything up to I believe 22 caliber. I mean 25 they'll fit. They get a little loose and anything above that, but they do work pretty good. Of course, they're not long enough to go all the way into the barrel and through. So what you can do is cut them down, and then you can use your cleaning rod and push them through. I find that this piece here often fits right in the end of your cleaning rod, depending on your threads, if it's a female or male end. I mean, either way, you can still push it through, and they do a pretty good job in cleaning. So we'll run through a few of these through. We'll begin without any oil, and then I'll probably maybe oil one up and kind of run it through just to see how filthy this barrel actually is. Now, what I like to clean my barrels with is this JB compound. However, I'm not gonna, since I don't have any patches, I'm not gonna use this. I'll just run a few dry, and then I'll run a few with oil, and then I'll go ahead and run a few more after the oil. Just kind of help clean out the excessive oil. But this is something that's really good for cleaning your bores, your barrels. So it's something I can definitely recommend, the JB compound. I do have this Hops 9 maintenance kit for air pistols, air rifles, and BB guns, pellet guns. However, the rods are metal, so something you kind of got to be careful, because you don't want to scratch, especially your more like your spiral twist type of rifling. Something that you could scratch and damage that if you're not careful. It does come with a little brush here, and then your patch cleaner. But I am all out of patches, but we'll just use Q-tips. But it does come in 3 sections. However, we'll just need the one today. This does have the male end on it, so what I'll probably end up doing is all the ends have the threaded screw, the male end. So I'll just add this piece here. It's just more of a blunt tip, and then I'll just push the Q-tip through with it. Now, I'll tell you what, I just thought of something. Instead of using this piece here, I mean, even though this is the end with the ring on the back, I did add this. However, what I'm going to do is just use one of the middle pieces and just reverse it. That way I can stick the Q-tip stick or piece in here. That way I can push it through and clean it. So I'll just, the way this is built, I mean, I could remove the barrel and clean it, but I'm just going to clean it inside. and then I'll just push from the front to the back, and then I'll pull the Q-tip off, bring it back through, and then I'll run another one through. Just being careful not to scratch the barrel at all going through. So yeah, we'll just run a few Q-tips through and see how dirty the barrel is from the factory. So what I do is I'll cut down the Q-tips as far down as I can go, just to leave a little bit of the stick here exposed, because that should be enough to push it all the way through with the clearance that I have without taking the barrel out. So you leave with this much, and then again with this piece here, you can just pretty much just put that in there, and you get yourself a little cleaning tool right here. So you just push that all through, and then once it goes all through, you can all the way through, you can just pull this out and then bring it back through. Because if you try to pull this through, it might get caught halfway in, or it'll probably just end up just popping off. So just remove it when you bring the rod back out. So I'll cut up a few of these, and then we'll move to the cleaning. Alright, I got a few of them cut up here. We'll just begin by running a couple of them through. I already got one on the end here. We'll go ahead and open this up. It is on safe. There is no pellet in there. You don't have to caulk it all the way, but I mean, you can probably clean it like this, just halfway up, but you don't have a lot of room there, so I'm just going to go ahead and open it all the way up. That way I can just go clean through and then just pull it out. You can see how much room you have in here, so it'll be enough to pull this end off. So let's just run a few through here and see how dirty this is. Just be careful not to scratch the barrel. Should go all the way through. There we go. A little stiff, but these work more for 22 caliber. A little tight for 177, but they'll go through. There, you can see how dirty that is. And just kind of pull it out here. It should pop right off as I pull it out. There we go. And then just bring this back out, just slowly, so you don't scratch your barrel. And here's the Q-tip. You can see how dirty it is. So it is a pretty dirty barrel. Just do that a few times until you get as clean as you can get. Yeah, that was a little tight. Might go through a little better with some lubrication on it. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll add some silicone oil to this one here and clean it. Again, through the front of the barrel. A little tight going through, but once it gets going, it will go through. There we go. Just a little tight for your 177, but it will fit. Just gotta push it through. Yeah, that one's going through a little smoother with the oil. There, look how filthy. That's still very filthy. It should just pop right off. There we go. And then just bring this back through slowly. There. Yeah, it's still pretty dirty. So I'll do that a few times, and we'll just see how clean we can get this barrel. Alright, well, here's the most recent Q-tip that I ran through, and you can already tell it's already much cleaner than it was. So, tell you what, we'll go get set up for the velocity testing, and we'll move on to the shooting. Now, the outside, it's pretty clean. So That's just a good thing to have, just these Q-tips. Everybody has them, so very good cleaning tool for air guns. I mean, I use these pretty much for everything. Even my replica black powder revolvers, just they're very helpful. I mean, you may get some of the fabric or some of the pieces in your barrels, but I mean they pretty much just blow out whenever you shoot them, or so definitely safe for your barrels and air guns. While I got this open, I'm gonna drop a drop or two of silicone oil on this O-ring in here. There. I don't know. I'll have to look, see what the proper maintenance is on these. But, a lot of moving parts. Again, this is just for your release to open it up. I mean, I could drop maybe a couple in there. A drop maybe down in there. Looks like there's already some in there, actually. There. Just kind of where the hinge is. Spring loaded. The trigger, I don't know if I can even get in there to do anything with that without removing everything. I don't know if I can take this grip off to expose it, maybe, but we won't mess with that right now. We're just doing some velocity testing at the moment, so we can close this up. But what we can do is, once we get over to the table for the velocity testing, we'll get a few of the few trigger pulls with my trigger gauge, see what kind of weight we got on these. But again, it just kind of has a little bit of a travel. You'll hear it, it'll go click, and then it's up against the release or sear, whatever that is, and then pretty loud little thing. I mean, that's right. If you can get 350 feet per second out of that little pop, but I guess you can. So yeah. All right, we'll move over to the table and we'll start some shooting. All right, I'm back with the Isaazon single stroke pneumatic air pistol. What we're going to do before we get to the velocity is get a few trigger pulls, see what the weight is. Apologize if just kind of we haven't gotten to the shooting yet, but I just wanted to help and kind of show you how dirty the barrel was from the factory, and now we're just going to get some trigger pulls. So again, the hammer is to release the top part, to slide it, and then to cock it, you just open this all the way up, hear that hits the air, and then bring it back down. It's not too heavy, so younger shooters could probably do it just as well. Does have a cross bolt safety. Now it does have that first little click to get to the just that breaking point, and then it breaks. So when it lets this back out, you can kind of hear it. So, all right, so we can get in there. We'll get about 3 of these. Okay, there's that first little stage, I guess you could call it, and then 3 pounds, 5.0 ounces. Again, kind of bring this hammer back to release it. Open it up all the way, you hear a little hiss of air, bring it back down. Tell you what, I don't know if that will stay if I bring this down there. Let's see if it's any lighter like that. You can still feel the, kind of has that little drag, and then 2 pounds, 11.4 ounces. Do it one more time. £2, 7.6 ounces. So not too bad. And you get past that first little, like I said, that little bit of travel, you kind of feel it. I don't know if you can smooth that out, but you might not want to, because that kind of gives you an idea where the trigger is going to break. That way, you know, it just kind of remains predictable, and then you pull it the rest of the way. So, not bad. So, with 3 pulls, we got a high of 3 pounds 5.0 ounces and a low of 2 pounds 2 pounds 7.6 ounces. I didn't say that. So yeah, 3 pounds 5.0 and then 2 pounds 7.6. So not too bad. All right, now for the part everybody's been waiting for. We're going to start with the 7-grain RWS hobby pellets. These are a flat-nosed, pretty much your average pellet weight in lead and 177 caliber. You know, anything for what, 7 to 8 grains is pretty much your average. Again, I will be shooting the heavier Crossburn Premiers. These are 10.5 grain, and in between we'll shoot these Field Target Trophy Green 5.71. These are lead free. Let me get my chronograph turned on down there, and we'll begin the shooting. Again, crossbolt safety. Go ahead and put it on safe. Open it up. The little hiss of air, you can hear that. And then to load it, you gotta install the pellet in the end of the barrel here. Might be a little difficult for people with, you know, maybe larger fingers, thicker fingers. Again, we'll start with the 7-grain RWS hobby. These are flat nose lead, 7 grains. I've never loaded one of these before. I think I got it in there. Make sure it's seated in there pretty good. First time ever shooting one of these single stroke pneumatic pistols. Alright. Tell you what, we'll do 5 shots of each. It's gonna be a little time consuming, you know, since you gotta cock it each time. But we'll see how it does. Alright. No need to tell you the temperature, it shouldn't matter. Alright, first shot. 7-grain RWS hobbies with the Isaazon single stroke pneumatic. Supposed to have a clam velocity between 300 to 350 feet per second. First shot. 312.4 feet per second. It's just that little bit of pop. It's hard to believe you're getting 300 feet per second with that. Safety on. Be a good idea to put the safety on each time. Should have left these open. My bad. Because you do kind of gotta. I mean, I don't know the best way to hold this. You kind of gotta put your hand. Don't put it like right here, but just kind of hold it up. That way your hand isn't in front of the barrel at all. And then install your pellet. It's a little, not too bad. I mean, I thought it'd be more difficult to get that in that hole there, but it's not bad. They seat pretty good. Go ahead and close it. And ready to go again. All right. First one was what, 312? 328.1. It's actually pretty quiet, as long as you got a pellet in there. I mean, if it's empty, it's a little louder, but I could definitely say this would be definitely backyard friendly. Safety on. Yeah, probably be a good habit to just put it on safe every time you load this thing. Just kind of where you got to hold your hand. I know I'm going to forget. I'm going to want to put it right here. But, all right, let's see. Got the right end here. Oops, come on out of there. Yeah, we'll do 5 of these. So that's what, this will be 3. Yeah, it's a little finicky getting that in there. I got smaller fingers for a guy, so. All right. Shot number 3. 328.9, so going up a little bit. Yeah, trigger is very predictable. Again, it has that little travel, you can feel it, and then you go up against the sear or whatever the release is, and then it breaks. So it's very predictable. That should definitely help with accuracy. Now, I haven't adjusted the reverse sight on this yet. Again, it's way to the left. So for accuracy, I'll probably just leave it there, and we'll see where it's shooting. And if I have to, I can move it back to the middle. All right, shot number 4. 7-grain hobbies. 328.5. All right, one more. Safe on. All right, load another one. Very simple engineering. I mean, if you don't have any CO2, you just want to mess around. Single stroke pneumatic is definitely worth it. All right, look at this. Is shot number 5. 326.7. So not quite the 350 feet per second, but we're in that range of 300 to 350. So not bad with just a single stroke. And the 7-grain RWS hobbies. These are flat nose lead. Move on to the next pellet. All right, next up, we'll stick with the lead. This will be the heavier 10.5 grain Crossman Premier domed. So these are clearly 3.5 grains heavier. So they'll be much slower. We'll do another 5. We'll probably drop below 300, I'm sure. Safe. These are a bit longer since they're domed. That one went in a lot looser than the hobby. All right, 10.5 grain Crossman Premier. Isaazon single stroke pneumatic. Again, crossbolt safety. 10.5 grains. 279.7. Still pretty good for a heavier pellet. Actually, pretty easy to load those. Being domed, you can kind of get it in that hole a little easier than a flat nosed. 284.4. So going up. Close to 300. With a 10 grain, over a 10 grain pellet. All right. $279.2. I'm not sure what the weight variances are on these pellet to pellet. I mean, they're supposed to be Crossman Premier, so they're supposed to be pretty good, I guess. But definitely one was probably lighter than the other. I didn't put the safety on that time. Again, it'd probably be a good habit, but I mean, if it's open, there's no way you can launch a pellet through it until it's closed. I mean, as long as you keep your finger off the trigger. 277.8. Yeah, that one at 284 must have been a really light pellet. All right, last one. Yeah, it's very quiet. Shot number 5. 282.9. So below 300 with a 10.5 grain pellet, but upper, 200, 270, 280s, not bad. All right, we'll move on to the lead-free light 5.71 grain field target trophy green. Again, I lubricated these with a few drops of silicone oil. Just kind of move the tin around like that so they're lubricated. So hopefully there'll be less drag in the barrel, being that they aren't lead. So tell you what, we might hit that 350 with these. We'll see. Alright, next up, the H&N Field Target Trophy Green. These are lead free, 5.71 grain. They are a dome pellet. See, much shinier and cleaner than the lead. Again, I have lubricated these with some silicone oil. If you hit that 350, it might be with these. Lift this up a little bit more. But pretty good numbers with the heavier 10.5 grain leads. I mean, 284 was the highest, not the 300, but 16 feet per second from it, not too bad. All right, first shot with the lead-free pellets, 5.71 grain. My furnace is running, so if that you can probably hear that. Wow, 364.4. So well over to 350. Huh. $366.0. All right. Good velocity with these. Not sure how the accuracy will be. $364.8. Down just a little bit. It is going pretty good too. It seems a dome pellets seem to go in really easy. A lot easier than a flat nosed. Trigger. Just that little travel. You can hear the snap, and then it's resting against this here. Then just 366.8. So one more. Down a bit, 362.4, but still over to 350. That's with the 5.71 grain Field Target Trophy Greens. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how accurate these will be. Being they're lead free, but we'll have to see. Not too bad with this. Isaazon single stroke pneumatic, 4.5 millimeter air pistol. Pretty good velocity numbers with both the 7 grain hobbies, 10.5 grain Crossman Premiers, and finally with the 5.71 grain H&N Field Target Trophy Greens. Pretty good velocity numbers there, well within the range of the 300 to 350. Yeah, I mean, it's just a Chinese made $50 pneumatic air rifle. I think it retails for like $59 on Amazon. I got it for a little less than that. That's US dollars. But I mean, not sure how long something like this will hold up over time, but with good maintenance and just take care of it. Now, I was reading over the instructions. It said something about to drain the water. You just, I don't know. I think cock it and just kind of hold it down. So I don't know how much moisture you might get in one of these. Maintenance wise, okay, let's open this up. I mean, like, I don't know what would go on this first, this piston here, but I would assume it'd probably be easily replaceable. I mean, don't they sell a lot of these? Maybe some repair kits, or I mean, probably be cheaper just to buy a new gun, but I don't know. I'll go ahead and release that air there. No pellet. Yeah, definitely a little louder without a pellet. I mean, you got that little bit of a louder pop, but it's not too bad. So we'll go ahead and move over back to the review table and just kind of go over our final results there. And we'll conclude this video, which is the velocity testing. Okay, back to wrap up the video of the Isaazon 4.5 millimeter or .177 caliber single stroke pneumatic air pistol. Got some velocity numbers using RWS Hobby, 7 grain flat nose lead, some 10.5 grain Craftsman Premier domed, and the H&N Field Target Trophy Green 5.71 grain lead free domed pellets. We were definitely in the range of the 300 to 350 feet per second. Actually went over with the lead free. Upper 200s with the heavier 10.5 grain Craftsman Premier. Energy wise, the highest I got was with the Craftsman Premier. The 284.4 feet per second got us 1.89 foot-pounds of energy, or 2.56 joule. That was the highest. With the lead free, the highest I got was 366.8 feet per second, 1.71 foot-pounds of energy, or 2.32 joule. And then with the 7 grain RWS Hobby, the highest I got was the 328.9 feet per second, 1.68 foot-pounds of energy, or 2.28 joules. So it's just under 3 joules. You know, the closest I got was a 2.56 joule. That was with the Craftsman Premier. Not too bad. This was my first time shooting a single stroke pneumatic air pistol. Yeah, I mean, supposed to warm up a little bit more today, so maybe I'll get this outside and we'll do some accuracy testing. We'll probably start out at, say maybe under 10 yards. I could shoot, I got about a 6.5 yard area in my basement to do some accuracy testing, but I think I'm going to go outside today and we'll do it here later. It's just going to be a nice day. Got a lot of rain moving in tomorrow, and then definitely cooler temperatures are coming. We're going to probably be in the mid to upper 60s today, so it'll be a nice day to get out and do some shooting. Plus, I want to see exactly how quiet this is in the backyard. It's really quiet inside here, so it's probably going to definitely be a lot more quieter outside. Anyhow, I hope you liked the video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.